Hi everyone, this is Bernard Bertrand, Lumix Ambassador. I recently did post a short edit on my YouTube channel. This clip is coming from video images I did during a sort of a masterclass I presented in Paris recently, showing the people all the power of the brand new Lumix S1.
Skin the color of bark, clothes smelling like trees, sticking my fur from my roots and weeds. My truth leads right back in the arm. No scar, but I left my mark. My friend got cleaned and no deed. Life is just that dark. Clothes smelling like trees, sticking my fur from my roots and weeds. My truth leads right back in the arm. No scar, but I left my mark. My friend got cleaned and no deed. Life is just that dark. But life is just that bright. And when the sunset shines, I seen the crafty rise. I'm back tonight with a sack to life. In honor of the past, I write. I'm wide open with no glass of wine. Stuck in the barrel, I'll get better with time. While you measure how the pleasure declines, I'm stacking cheddar while the just rise. With my eyes and my ears glued here on my grind, cutty, creeping on the combine. Hard work in the crux that it made it us. About to bust on my veins full of cold dust. The 1985 California cold rush in the spine.
I did that really short edit mainly for my Instagram account. As you know, Instagram allows only really short video clip and they loop them automatically. But I was so impressed by the image quality that I wanted to share it here on my YouTube channel in 4K, trying to get the best export settings into Premiere Pro in order to compensate the terrible YouTube compression. I will, as always on my YouTube channel, will also share with you all the entire process. Once again, I try to be as close as I would be on a regular production that day. But it was first of all a sort of a masterclass. And during that day, I never been capturing any footages without commenting it at the same time for the people on the set around me.
Parfois, je vais venir chercher des choses un petit peu, je dirais, plus accidentelles, des détails comme ça.
I wanted to illustrate two main features of the Lumix S1. We all know already really well about the amazing image quality of both the S1 and S1R. And in this specific masterclass in Paris, my idea was to illustrate the low light capabilities of the S1 and at the same time the new autofocus system. And you probably know by now that Panasonic introduced an artificial intelligence into the S1 and S1R. There is the face, eye, silhouette recognition. And this also includes animal detection for the photographers and videographers that are shooting animals. So even if I'm usually shooting manual focus, that day I wanted to show the people how well the autofocus system works. And I have to say that it works. It really does. I have been really impressed myself. And on the set I did on the studio, there was absolutely no room at all for mistakes. So let me tell you about it. I will of course also talk about my light setup for doing those images later on this video. So the entire day my Lumix S1 was connected to an HDMI cable using the little accessory that also comes with the camera. This accessory that will keep your HDMI or USB-C totally safe. So anything I was doing with my S1 was visible on a nice big Atomos Sumo.
Skin the color of bark.
There on the Atomos Sumo, I was also using a LUT in order to show the people how my final image may look like.
Skin the color of bark, clothes smelling like trees, sticking my fur from my roots and weeds. My truth leads right back in the arm. No scar, but I left my mark.
And I was using the brand new flat image profile. And of course, this new flat profile is available in both S1 and S1R. Obviously, we are dealing here with a nice pretty flat profile that will give you much more flexibility in post. And I did tweak it a bit to make it even flatter by pulling down the contrast at -5 and the saturation at -5 as well. For time to time, I may also move up the shadows, but not all the time. So starting from the flat profile, you can make it even flatter. So I was sending my HDMI signal to the Atomos Sumo, and right next to the Atomos Sumo, I also had the huge Panasonic OLED screen, enormous.
Clothes smelling like trees, sticking my fur from my roots and weeds. My truth leads right back.
And there we also choose a good image profile in order to see something really close to what I was shooting. And I did set my camera to let pass through the HDMI all the info from my camera. So anybody on the studio was able to see my settings live. So as I said, no tricks, no right for mistakes. It was all there. The people was able to see my camera settings. In this case, I was shooting with the 24 to 105mm at f4, ISO 3200. And on the Atomos Sumo or the OLED screen, they were also able to see the autofocus working live. And we were all pretty impressed. So I wanted to explain a bit about that shoot, as I'm really happy with the results. Extremely happy with the images. But keep in mind that I was so far away from a personal dedicated shooting like I do when I have a job. Many people around in this case, and at a certain point they were able to grab a camera and test it by themselves.
Close smelling like trees, digging my fur from my roots and weave my truth leads right back in the arm. No scar, but I left my mark. My friend got cleaned in OD like.
And the interesting thing is that I did set everything for a video shoot. I did actually organize 2 different sets on the same studio. One was more beauty oriented, pretty simple, a female model and chair. And the other one is the one I did post on YouTube already, with a Thai boxing champion doing some shadows. But as the Lumix S1 is a real master in low light, the people around were able to take advantage of my setup to shoot stills images or video. Same setup works for both in this case. So I had David with me, a French-speaking YouTuber, Monsieur Camera, that was on the set to cover the event. But unfortunately, there is no footage into what he did shot that specifically show my setup coming from the S1 to the Atomos Sumo with the LUT on and then the huge OLED screen where you can see my image, my camera settings and everything. And of course the autofocus at work. I'm afraid that the only footage I have here showing you this are some iPhone footage the makeup artist did.
Digging my fur from my roots and weave my truth leads right back in the arm. No scar, but I left my mark. My friend got cleaned in OD, life is just that dark. Close smelling like trees, digging my fur from my roots and weave my truth leads right back in the arm. No scar, but I.
And as you see, I was connected into the Atomos Sumo with all my camera info. And this is the reason why I only recorded that shoot internally on the S1 and that I didn't use an SSD like I always do. And then we were sending it all to the OLED. In this case, no LUT on, of course, but the people were able to see the autofocus at work and see my image. Of course, if you are following me here on my YouTube channel, you know the way I work and that I'm almost all the time shooting handheld. And I have to tell you that again, such as on the GH5, I was literally floating with the camera, as I always do, and it works just perfect.
Digging my fur from my roots and weave my truth leads right back in the arm. No scar, but I left my mark. My friend got cleaned in OD, life is just that dark. Close smelling like trees, digging my fur from my roots and weave my truth leads right back in the arm. No scar, but I left my mark. My friend got cleaned in OD, life is just that dark. But life is just that bright, and when the sunset shines, I seen the.
I was shooting at 4K 50, as I most of the time do, in order to be able to get nice little slow motion when I had it on a 24p timeline. So I was shooting at 100th of a second on the shutter to stick with the 180-degree shutter rule, obviously. So f4, 100th of a second, ISO 3200. So you can realize that the light was pretty low and the image is so clean. There is not even a trace of noise, nothing. Looking at those images, it is impossible to tell that I was shooting at 3200 ISO, and I love it. Keep in mind I had 2 different sets on the same studio. One more fashion/beauty oriented, and the other with the boxer. And normally to light this up, I would have used an insane amount of light power to light those 2 on the same studio. But in this case, knowing how the S1 is working in low light, I have been able to dim down completely the light. And this is such a pleasure. For the model, for me, when I spend an entire day in the studio as well, when you have 20 or 25,000 watts on your face on the set for an entire day, at the end of the day you are like, wow. But in this case, I was of course able to dim down everything. So I had a super cozy mood on the set. Nothing super bright, but more like into a living room or something at home. Really soft and dimmed down. I really like to work that way. And this is actually exactly what I'm doing right now, here for my talking head. I also have a small Dedolight, D4 in this case, there, extremely close to my face, with a little Dedoflex softbox. And I'm able to dim it down all the way down to the almost minimum, as I'm recording this on a GH5S. also at 3200 ISO. So I don't get tired shooting those because of a super strong light straight to my face. And that makes a huge difference. It's all a question of stops. Where you're missing here, you need to get it back there. And with the Lumix S1 flexibility in low light, it is so convenient, as you will never feel short or stressed out for an image quality in low light. So finally, a word about my light setup. Know that I'm recording this for YouTube. I have not been able to edit the short video with the girl yet, but I will tell you about it anyway. So I simply use a paper drop as a background, and when facing my subject, I had all my light on the right, coming from the side. And in this case, I did use the Dedolight D9, this bigger brother. And I did use two of those, one on top of the other. And then I did also use two 1 meter square screen, also one on top of the other. And to soften the light, I did use one full stop of white diffusion. And on the left of the set, I did place two big foam boards in order to fill up the scene a little bit with some reflected light. And I did place a Dedolight D4 in this case on a boom to get a sort of an accent on her coming from the back left by simply reflecting the Dedo D4 on the foam board. So keep in mind that I knew I would have a lot of people into the studio and that as soon as I would have introduced them to what I'm doing, they would jump on the different set with a camera in their hand available to test it. So for me it was crucial to set both sets on the same track. So I was at ISO 3200, f4 shutter speed at 100th of a second on both sets. And for the Boxer, I was pretty close to what I'm doing here actually. I was using one of the D9 Dedolight LED light, again with the Dedoflex softbox, as I'm using it right now. And as usually, I want to get as close as my subject I could get. And this is something I often do. I use soft light, but I use it really close to my subject, extremely close. Then in this specific setup, I did use also some cinefoil. For those of you who don't know what cinefoil is, I would say that there is two small accessories you would always want to have with you. First, the good old gaffer tape. And secondly, a roll of cinefoil. Cinefoil is a non-reflective black aluminum paper roll, and you can use it to shape anything. And in this specific case, I did place some cinefoil around my softbox in order to make some kind of flaps around my softbox and make my light out of the softbox a little more directional. You may think that I could have used some grid on the softbox, but not. This would have made my light way too contrasted. With the cinefoil, I just wanted to preserve my concrete wall as a background. I didn't want the background to get too much light. That's it. And that gives me a nice contrast on the athlete. And if you pull far away back a soft modifier from your subject, you will lose a ton of contrast. I usually use soft modifiers, but extremely close to my subject. Most of the time, as close as I could get without being in the frame, obviously. So to have the D9 LED light on top of the Boxer, I did simply use two wind-up stands with a 4 meter bar, and I did use a super clamp to attach the LED on the bar. So the very first thing I did was to test the proximity of my light from the concrete wall that I would use as a background. Because if I was too close from the concrete wall, I would get it too bright. And I wanted to get it really dark and moody. I wanted the light coming out, fading organically around my subject. And there is no other way to do than test the proximity of the light. So at a certain point, I did find the right distance in between the light and the concrete wall. And from there, I did place my subject under the light. In this case, the Boxer. As my light is really close to him, the amount of light will fall extremely fast in terms of stops, and the difference in f-stop is of course very big in between the face and the midsection of his body. And this is also something I wanted. Once again, if you pull your soft modifier far away from your subject, the difference between the face and the midsection of the body will be really small and you will get something really heaven. And in my case, I want it like that, contrasted, moody, that perfectly fit that kind of subject. So that's about it for now. I hope you did find it interesting and instructive. And I will come back more and more with that kind of shooting breakdown. And if you have any additional questions, as always, leave me a comment below. I would be really pleased to help. Thank you very much and see you next time.